Breaking news. Let's talk about the biggest scam in Britain. And no, I'm not talking about speed cameras or ULEZ. I'm talking about council tax.
Now it's going to get worse. Council tax up by 25% potentially.
But one of the big reasons the council have said that council tax has gone up by so much is because of adult social care. Because people are living longer.
Asking for more council tax. What are they doing with the current council tax we pay already?
I'd like to know where this money's gone, because I don't believe it's going on adult social care. I think the council's sticking it somewhere else.
I was having a nice chill day, and then the postman brings me council tax.
This is what I do with this. And I rip it up, and I open the bin, and I go, see ya.
What happens if you stop paying your council tax?
But try cancelling council tax, they will cancel your existence.
We are one of the most heavily taxed populations on earth. And for what exactly? We're taxed to earn, taxed to spend, taxed to save, taxed to pass it on, taxed to die.
Everything, even like, I just think in the end it'll be the air we breathe will be taxed. You can't live in the UK anymore.
But council tax is a wrong and it really people over.
How is this possible? We're being squeezed and screwed left, right and centre on this cost of living crisis.
But hey, God save the king, because the rest of us are absolutely screwed.
Ah yes, council tax. That ever magical monthly payment where you hand over thousands of pounds for, what was it exactly? Probably an empty promise of missed bin collections, a few potholes to greet you, and a streetlight from 1997 that is now flickering in time. Welcome back, Brit Rants, where we celebrate the great British tradition of paying more to receive less. Because clearly, your hard-earned money is going to something like executive pay rises and art installations nobody asked for. Meanwhile, the public space is being wrecked, the bins are overflowing, and you are the one still paying for them as if you're being granted the favour. So today, we shall be looking at this farce that is council tax. We've all arrived at the TikTok agree it was never worth anything moment. If you are sick and tired of paying the premium for the bottom services, do hit the subscribe button. Let us get into it.
Mayday, mayday.
Walking through Alum Rock and just look at this. Rubbish everywhere. Birmingham City Council. Where are you guys? Where are you?
Mayday, mayday.
Right mess. Maybe it will clean itself up. Someday, one day. Come on, Birmingham City Council.
What in the broken Britain is this? That's right, we've had a massive increase in council tax to pay for this. They got the local nursery to come and do it. They've painted across the jitty. They've got wiggly wobbly lines. They've got all sorts of crap. And we've paid for it. Our increase in council tax has paid for this. Well done, Milton Keynes City Council.
I can't believe what I just saw on the news, and it is just bad news. Cost of living crisis, wow. Now it's going to get worse. Council tax up by 25% potentially for 10 councils in this country, putting it up by 25%. Ask yourself, how can they do that? Well, they've found a loophole. They're not limited to the 5% increase that the government sets. No, these councils can do it because they found out if they declare bankruptcy, they can put it up by, well, some are saying 25%, which is £500 to £600 increase for your council tax. Windsor is one of those places. How is this possible? We're being squeezed and screwed left, right and centre on this cost of living crisis. Food prices are up through the bloody roof. Your rent, your mortgage, your gas, electric, up through the roof. And then your car insurance, your cost of your clothing, everything, even like, I just think in the end, it'll be the air we breathe will be taxed. You can't live in the UK anymore. Your council tax could go up by 25% in 10 of the boroughs in the UK. And like Rachel Reeves is okay with this because she don't have to foot the bill to save these councils if they can survive and put it up by whatever they need. You see, that's the important thing for Labour. They only care about government. They don't care about people. Let's face it, a lot of people voted for them because of their socialist thinking. Well, they ain't socialists, this government. They're capitalists. That the number one thing they want to support is themselves. They want to support government. Labour loves government. Labour loves having control of every single thing. So much control that you haven't got the freedom to live your life. You're working just to pay bills or your council tax. And that's what people have voted for, apparently. I don't think they did. Labour, you're a load of shit. And this government, you need to leave the post immediately. You're dismissed.
So I've got a question for you all. So council tax, as we all know, has gone through the roof. Household bills, your gas, your electric, your water rates, it's just fucking ridiculous. Food prices are astronomical as well. But one of the big reasons the council have said that council tax has gone up by so much is because of adult social care. Because people are living longer. Fair enough. Need more money for that. So if that's the case, riddle me this. Why is my dad having to sell his fucking house to pay for his care and needs in a care home? At £1,250 a week. Why is he having to do that if this adult social care has gone up because people are living longer and obviously going into care homes and need looking after? I'd like to know where this money's gone because I don't believe it's going on adult social care. I think the council's sticking it somewhere fucking else. Just don't trust them at all.
Asking for more council tax. What are they doing with the current council tax we pay already? Can you see a return on your council tax? I can tell you what one council's doing. So let's talk about Barnet Council. Recently, Barnet Council issued a section 114, which is similar to bankruptcy, where leaders of the council have to get together quickly within 21 days and find out where all the money is going. Because on this occasion, an overpayment was made, an unlawful overpayment was made of £20 million. And you want us to pay more council tax? Like, what? Where did the 20 million go? Into a pension fund, but it was an accident. 20 million just... Now, I need people to know, and people always ask me, well, why am I going to care about politics? Why am I going to care about things going on in the council? This is why. I need people to know, wherever they live, if they're paying council tax, you need to find out if your council has issued a section 114 notice, because you need to start understanding and questioning where your money is going. Now, this is a list. The most recent ones, okay? Nottingham issued a notice in 2023. Ask them where the money's going. Ask them why they have to file this section 114 notice, which essentially says we can't meet our financial obligations, which will then lead to cuts of services. So where is your money going? Birmingham issued in 2023. Woking issued in 2023. Thurrock issued in 2022. Where's your money going? Why should we pay more council tax when they do not know what they're doing with our money? We need to start having meetings with the local councillors, meetings with the council, meetings with the MP. We need to start questioning. No one in normal life in business would keep on giving money if we are not seeing a return.
Breaking news. Let's talk about the biggest scam in Britain. And no, I'm not talking about speed cameras or ULEZ. I'm talking about council tax. Yes, folks, it's that special time of year when the council sends a friendly little reminder demanding even more money. For what exactly? More bin collections? No. Better roads? No. A police force that actually turns up when your house gets burgled? Absolutely not. But don't worry, this tax rise is necessary to fund vital services, like paying council tax bosses 250 grand a year to sit in meetings about diversity strategy, while your local town centre looks like a zombie apocalypse. Oh no, we simply must raise the council tax to pay for the next round of pointless roadworks that last 18 months and make the traffic worse than it was before. Meanwhile, you struggle to pay. Boom, court summons, bailiffs, threats. They'll take your wages, they'll take your home, your sanity. Try dodging it and they'll come for you like a bloody cartel. You can cancel Netflix, you can cancel Sky, but try cancelling council tax, they will cancel your existence. But hey, I'm sure the bloke on 250 grand at the council is really struggling too. So maybe next year we can start paying off his second Range Rover. How is this even legal? Why are we still putting up with this? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, thanks for listening.
Morning, everyone. I just wanted to read you something that was sent to me yesterday about tax in the UK, which I think you'd find quite interesting. So here we go. Great Britain, the land of freedom, the land of opportunity, the land where we're told you have rights as long as you can afford them. We are one of the most heavily taxed populations on earth, and for what exactly? We're taxed to earn, taxed to spend, taxed to save, taxed to pass it on, taxed to die. You're taxed on food, fuel, heating, water, bins, broadband, your birth, your death, and everything in between. You're taxed to drive to work, taxed on fuel, then taxed again to park outside the job you need just to survive. You're taxed to buy a home, taxed to own it, and taxed again when you try to leave it to your children. And if you have kids, you'll need to work full time just to afford someone else raising them. Nursery fees, school meals, uniforms, wraparound care, voluntary contributions that aren't so voluntary. Also, you can work to pay more tax. We're working ourselves into the ground, chasing a life we barely get to live. Then when we finally hit retirement, now closer to 70, we're handed a pension that can't even cover the electric bill. After 40, 50, 60 years of contributions, they tell us there's no money left. But there's always money for them. 369 million for Buckingham Palace refurbishments, 37 billion for NHS test and trace, 9 billion wasted on HS2, 15 billion on dodgy PPE contracts, 11 billion for Ukraine, millions for royal events, unlimited funds for MPs, weapons and propaganda. But when it comes to us, crumbling schools, year-long court backlogs, 7+ million on NHS waiting lists, people sanctioned while sick, GPs fully booked for weeks, no NHS dentist, 2-year child referral wait lists, hospitals crumbling, ambulance queues. And still they say the NHS is free. No, you paid for it. Every payslip, every tax return, every year of national insurance. They say we should be grateful. And grateful for what? Freedom to what exactly? To be overworked, overtaxed, gaslit and blamed as the country collapses under the weight of its own corruption. But hey, God save the king, because the rest of us were absolutely screwed. What do you think to that? I think that's brilliant. Let me know in the comments.
£2,152. I was having a nice chill day, and then the postman brings me council tax. Do you want to know how much my council tax bill is for the year? £2,152. What the actual fuck? I've seen people that don't pay it. I'm too scared to do that. £2,152. When I first moved in this house, it was just over £1,000. Doubled. And then they go, it's okay, you get 2 months free to not pay council tax. No, we don't, because you just made the 10 months payments higher. They're not free. How much is your council tax? How much do you pay? I'm in a 2-bedroom small house. £2,152 over 10 months. What the fuck? Beans on toast all week, guys. Got to pay me council tax.
A complaint has today been laid by Worcester City Council that you have not paid the council tax duly levied and demanded from you by the said council. You are therefore summoned to appear before Magistrates Court sitting at Worcester Magistrates Court, Castle Street, Worcester, on the 8th of the 8th, 2025 at 1 o'clock. The amount owed, 1,817. Fuck off. This is what I do with this. Go like that. And I rip it up. And I open the bin. And I go, see ya. See ya.
So look at this story from ITV News. Apparently there's been an alarming surge in council tax arrears as households struggle with rising bills. Now the data from 100 councils were collected by ITV News, which showed the total amount owed in council tax has increased by over 70% in just 5 years. Now, with everything around us going up, your food bills through the roof, your utility bills are going up, your rent or mortgage has gone up, and now basically every single council in the UK increased their council tax rates by the maximum allowed amounts, while, or at a time, shall I say, when people are already struggling to make ends meet, and then they wonder why these payments can't be fucking paid. People can't pay money that they do not have. And when is this government gonna fucking realise that? And more to the point, it seems like at the moment, council services are being cut left, right and centre. We keep hearing these stories over and over again about these councils that are supposedly on the verge of bankruptcy, and they raise all our council tax bills by the maximum allowed amount, yet services are being cut. You know, the standard of living inside of these councils are diminishing just every single day. The roads are atrocious. You know, everything about these councils now is just spending money in the wrong areas. But then I suppose that's part and parcel of this bloody government at the moment, isn't it? Just absolutely wasting taxpayers' money on whatever they deem fit. They don't ask the people. They don't ask the people living within these constituencies or within these councils what they think is important to their standing of living or their neighbourhoods. They just go ahead and they have these stupid ideological plans which they push millions and millions of pounds into that always ends up being a fucking complete waste of money. Meanwhile, our major services, our needed services are being cut. But I guess some of these plans, such as low traffic neighbourhoods, they have to push through, don't they? They have to go along with it if they have any fucking hope of pushing forward with these 15-minute cities in the very near future. Just have a look at this footage.
ITV News has learned there's been an alarming surge in council tax arrears in England, with hundreds of thousands of households being referred to bailiffs as a result. We sent freedom of information requests to around 100 councils in England. The responses show the total amount owed in council tax has increased by over 70% in just 5 years. 85% of councils reported an increase in arrears last year, and just last year more than 1 million people received a court summons because they were in council tax arrears, with almost 600,000 referred to bailiffs, and that's an average of one referral every minute. This led to calls from debt campaigners for households to prioritise council tax payments above everything.
Over 1 million people sent to court because of council tax arrears. So there you have it, people. Start prioritising your council tax bills over everything else, so then you won't be paying your utility bills, or you won't be paying your rent, and you can be evicted or have debt collection agencies coming after you because you can't pay your fucking electricity because you're paying your council tax. Make it make sense. As always, peace and love from me. Don't forget to like, share and follow for more content.
What happens if you stop paying your council tax? What happens if you stop paying your TV licence? What happens if you stop paying your water bills and your gas and electric? Because I've been following a girl on TikTok who has recently made the decision to stop paying all of these. And I've gone in the comments and I'm amazed by how many people have just stopped paying their TV licences, have stopped paying their council tax, have stopped paying their gas and electric, and they have not been cut off. Same with water, because apparently there's a law in place where they can't cut your water off. But if everybody in the country did that, right, and took a stand and just said, no, we're not paying our bills anymore, think how much more money we'd have as a nation, like as well as people, we'd have more money, but like we would take the power back off the government, wouldn't we? And I'm just wondering, like, You don't have to answer this, guys, because it's a personal question, but how much does everybody pay for council tax? Because I'm really intrigued to know how much everybody's paying for their council tax, because I think some of the prices I've seen are absolutely shocking. Like, I pay about I think mine's gone up to £111 a month now, but last year it was 170 because I was paying arrears off. Now this year, obviously, I'm not in arrears, I'm in credit, so it's a bit less. But I mean, that's for a 3-bedroom house in Wales. But obviously, we've got places like London and stuff like that where it's extortionate. So, yeah. If any of you, I'm just interested, if any of you stop paying those utility bills, and if you have, what has happened to you? Have you been summoned to court? And I just think it would be interesting to see. So feel free to get hit in the comments.
Brits are fuming after spotting atrocious detail on their 2025-2026 council tax bills, because once again they have gone up at least 5%. So a huge number of Brits have expressed their anger at rising council tax bills this year. It comes after a 2-month hiatus for many, with payments due to resume shortly. Despite the government's plans to increase funding for councils in 2025-26, millions of households are anticipated to face a rise in their bill over the same 12-month period. Joe said people can't afford to put food in their bellies, yet they're threatened with prison for unpaid bills. I wouldn't mind paying more if the services were to a decent standard, because they're on about doing less for the money. They're about taking the wheelie bins once a month instead of twice a month. And other cuts have been made, so we're paying more for a worse service. One person commented, my bill went from £120 a month to £150 a month. That's £30 a month. It's so unfair. Another person said, straight facts, this is why I moved out of the UK last year. The cost of living was crippling us as a family. It's such a depressing place to live now. Someone else said, worst it's been in 50 years, awful. We moved to Costa Blanca. It wasn't easy and took us a few years to do it, but worth it in the end. What is going on with Britain at the moment?
As you can see, council tax in London is going up again. But when was the last time you actually saw a new library, a youth club, or swimming pool open? Let's have a quick talk about what you're paying for, or rather, what you're not getting. Pretty much every year your council tax rises, and every year public services shrink. Libraries closing, youth clubs are gone, community centres sold off, they've flogged off the family silver, and now they're just a middleman between you and some private firms making a killing of what used to be public services. So, where's the money going, you ask? Consultants, executive salaries, dodgy contracts? Because it's sure the hell not going into services we actually need. And that's why local elections matter. If you don't vote, you're letting them keep taking while giving nothing back. The Workers' Party is standing to rebuild councils the way they should be, serving people and not draining their wallet. Seriously, enough is enough. Vote for a council that actually works for you. We need to make councils public again.
So if you don't know already, we are calling on government to scrap council tax entirely and replace it with a much fairer system. And guess what? We are definitely not alone. Increasingly in recent months, we've seen growing calls from a range of voices calling on the government to reform the council tax system and replace it with a much fairer approach, which we're really pleased to see. So writing for The Times in April, leading economist David Smith published this in The Times, calling for scrapping council tax and stamp duty and replacing them with a fairer proportional property tax. He called out the current system of council tax and stamp duty as outdated, unfair and damaging to the UK economy. And we're also very grateful for a call out from David Smith in his article. Then we have Tom Calvert, earlier this month, data editor at The Times, saying how unfairness is baked into our system and criticising council tax again. He focuses on how people in lower value properties pay a disproportionate amount in terms of council tax compared to those in high value properties. He even goes on to highlight this by citing Buckingham Palace, a Band H property in Westminster, which incurs an annual council tax bill of £2,034, which is less than a typical 3-bedroom semi in Hartlepool. Then just last week, we have Helen Miller, the new director of the Institute for Fiscal Studies, interviewed on the newsagent. She called out how regressive council tax is and said that a situation whereby people in low value properties are paying significantly higher proportions of their property wealth in council tax than those in higher value properties doesn't make any sense and would be an obvious place to go to when it comes to tax reform and what the Chancellor Rachel Reeves could be looking at. Then just today we have Martin Sambu, the European economics commentator for The Times, writing about how we need further tax reform in order to address key issues in our economy. Specifically, he points to a market value-based approach to property taxation as a key step that an ambitious Chancellor should be looking at when considering all options to improve the UK economy. So we're genuinely delighted to see so many calls from different influential voices for council tax reform and for replacing it with a much fairer system, and we'll be doing everything we can to keep it on the political agenda over the coming months. If you agree with us, or you're keen to learn more about our proposals to scrap council tax and stamp duty and replace it with a proportional property tax, which is a flat rate of 0.48% on property value across the country, then do hit all the buttons, give us a follow, and make sure you check out our website, fairashare.org.uk, where you can find answers to all the questions that you may have about this policy and find out how you can support us.
Council tax is actually the hardest one, I feel. The issue with council tax is you've got to pay it. Rent and council tax are your biggest must pay things. Rent because you have to keep a fucking roof over your head. You can't be seen to make yourself intentionally homeless. And council tax because they have direct access to the court and can get bailiffs out. There are very rarely companies who can get bailiffs. Council tax is one of them. There are, however, a couple of things available. If you're a single person, you can get a single person discount. If you're on universal credit, low income universal credit, I think you can get them to contact council tax and they can make adjustments. If you have a serious disability, you can apply for a discount, but that isn't based on whether you receive a benefit. That is based on your specific disability. I don't think there is any help if you have a disabled child, but I could be wrong. But your best bet is to ring up your council, say you can't pay, you haven't got the fucking money, and see what they've got to help, because each council's going to be different. They've got money in a pot, it's just how they decide to give out that money. But council tax is a fucking wrong one. It really fucks people over.
You're being robbed, legally extorted every single year, and you don't even question it. Council tax is not a requirement. It's a scam, and I'm about to show you why. They make you believe council tax funds your local area, roads, schools, bins, emergency services. But have you actually seen an improvement? Councils are going bankrupt. Streets are filthy. Services are getting cut. So, where is all your money going? The simple, plain truth is, council tax is not a contractual agreement. You never signed anything. There is no lawful obligation for you to pay. And yet, they threaten you with courts, bailiffs, and prison if you don't comply. I mean, let's break it down. Council tax is based on property values from 1991, outdated, unfair, and manipulated. Your council tax is a private corporation. Check Companies House. They operate as a business, not public services. And most council tax summons aren't even signed by a judge, meaning they have zero legal authority. If council tax was truly for public services, why do councils rely on government bailouts? Why do they keep hiking your bills while services disappear? Because it's a scam designed to keep you, the people, paying on questioning year after year. When you look at it at a bigger picture, the system relies on fear and ignorance. They want you to believe you have no choice. But ask yourself, if council tax was truly lawful, why do councils need permission to increase it beyond a certain percentage? Why are so many councils going bankrupt while still demanding more money from you? And why do they collapse services while increasing your bill every year? Because it's not about funding services, it's about controlling you, the people. The real power lies in awareness. Start questioning where your money is going. Start challenging the system. It's time to stop funding your own enslavement. Are you going to keep paying, or are you going to wake up? Let me know your thoughts and comments.
So there we were, paying for barely existent services, You delayed a payment? They would hang over your head like a criminal. They missed the bin day. Sorry, try again next week. Let's face the truth. This is no longer about community upkeep. It is about wringing every last cent out of an ordinary man so that he may survive. We are currently funding council fat cats, vanity projects, and failed schemes while seeing our neighbourhoods fall to pieces. Streetlights broken, roads cracked, libraries shut down, and then you are expected to cough up and shut up and feel grateful for it. Wouldn't that just be the modern Britain? The less they give, the more they charge, and then they gaslight you for complaining. So if you have had enough of getting mugged in broad daylight by your local authority, drop down some council horror stories. Tell us what you are truly getting for £2,000 plus a year. And the best profit suggestion would be to hit subscribe, because here at Brit Rants, we are not just fed up. We are loud, we are pissed, and we are not going to pay quietly anymore.